let's bring it back a little bit. Talk to us about the most fun part of building what you're building and being able to do what you get to do every day.
The wildest part about insurance, and I see this almost every day, is there is incredible price variation for an almost identical product. It'd be like everyone knows you shouldn't fill up gas next to an airport, right? Like there's just an airport next to SFO that's like $6.50 a gallon, no matter what the price is of gas in California. And everyone knows you shouldn't stop there. But the equivalent for insurance is like you're driving down the highway and one person is $4 a gallon and the other person is 50. And you're like, why would anyone ever go to the $50 a gallon place? But the answer is they just don't know. And so every day I get the opportunity to see truly exorbitant prices and quotes and guide my customers to the best option, often saving them a ton of money. I mean, just recently I got a particular quote from an unnamed insurer that was $32,000 a year to insure a place that someone else was willing to do for about $2,000. So, that's the kind of gap that you can see.
How is that not criminal?
I mean, if I were being generous, I would say that the $32,000 a year was, we politely don't want your business. But
Got it. Let's zoom out a little bit and talk a little bit more macro. What industries do you think can be disrupted by FinTech, InsurTech advancements? And what sectors do you think are immune to this technology?
So I really love software, and I've loved software for a long time. But I think people who work in software knows one of the worst facets of software is when software intersects with the real world and the assumptions made by the programmer are violated by the real world. You've told the robot that it's going to pick up a 1 kilogram cube and it picks up a 15 kilogram cube, and all sorts of things go wrong, right? And in the real world, things violate software expectations every day, and it drives me nuts. But in finance is basically an abstraction like software. And so it's a lot more amenable to programming desires and programming tasks. And that's really what I love about FinTech.
For people new in the space who want to learn more about FinTech, about InsurTech, what resources would you recommend? Where should they start?
Matt Levine is an incredible columnist who has deep insights that combine the legal and the practical aspects of finance with a great column that I would recommend. Bits About Money by Patrick McKenzie, fantastic newsletter. Joe Weisenthal's podcast, Odd Lots on Bloomberg. And if you're more of a Twitter person, there's a kind of a shitposting finance Twitter account, Quantian. If I could create content like that, I would post on Twitter. But sadly, the inner drill isn't strong enough.
Everyone loves a good shitpost these days, right? Comes out of it. And the last one here. So looking forward, how do you envision the adoption of data transparency influencing the industry dynamics and customer expectations in your world?
Well, I think all of us know that the world in which you get calls from telemarketers to buy insurance has a ticking clock behind it. And hopefully, when we're old people having, the future podcast version of this conversation, people will not still be getting insurance salespeople calls. And the question is more like, when does that timeline arrive? How does that arrive? People have been telling this story for 20 years, so I'm not first to this narrative, and a lot of people have been proven wrong here. But I believe that consumers could make the right decisions here and can do a much better job with their insurance if it was just easier. And maybe Coverage Cat won't be the person to make it easier. Maybe someone else will figure out how to do that. But I sure hope it's someone, and I hope it's soon, because every day I see people making bad decisions because of this opacity.
Love it.